right, so what do you need to hire freight agents? A lot of people talk about hiring freight agents and having them to help them build their business, having them to go in and start getting customers on their own and moving loads and making money. That's a very good aspiration to have because it helps your bottom line tremendously when you do it right. But sometimes we put the cart in front of the horse and we start hiring agents before we do the essentials, before we take care of the things that are needed before hiring agents. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the one thing that all freight brokers need to make sure that they do before they ever hire freight agents. Let's jump right into it. Here's the thing. If you're going to hire freight agents, that's a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with hiring freight agents. I think there's something wrong with the time that you hire freight agents. Some of you are jumping out way too quickly, way too soon to hire freight agents. And what do I mean when I say it's too soon? Well, you haven't built the infrastructure of that business yet. You hadn't built the most important part of the business, so you really don't have anything to offer to a potential agent other than a platform, other than a motor carrier authority to work underneath. But as far as what you really need, credit moves loads a whole lot easier than someone who does not have, or a business that does not have, the proper credit. So as a freight brokerage, your focus should be on going out and saying, you know what? I am going to take the time that's necessary to build the credit for the business. How do I build credit for a freight brokerage business? Well, we already know I have to move loads and pay carriers. Once I start to move loads and pay carriers, let's say I've done that now for a 12-month period, I've established a solid credit rating or A or B rating. Now I can get my loads moved by any carrier without any issues. Now the freight agent has a platform that he can come on and move loads without having to go through a whole lot of rigmarole, a lot of headache to get loads moved. Because what you have to understand is freight agents are looking for somewhere that they can work, learn how the business works without having to come in and build something from the ground up. That's not the freight agent's job. The freight agent should be able to come in and just start working. You give him a smart book. You give him instruction, guidance on how daily business practices work. And he should be able to take that smart book and, of course, still needing some instruction and guidance from you, because it's not just throwing him in the fire and letting him deal with it on his own, because that agent represents your freight brokerage. So you want to make sure that he's properly trained before you go on and hire that agent, or before you start just letting him go on his own. But key parts is getting that credit established, because when he can move loads without having carriers deny him, without having factoring companies deny him, that is going to be a much better environment to get loads moved, and so that he can build a business that he wants to build, so he can see that there's a good reason why he's working underneath your banner. Because of course, agents have options. They have other brokerages that they can work under. And one of the most important things that a brokerage can offer to a new agent is a credit-worthy business, a business that can get loads moved. The load movement, that is what builds a freight brokerage. Load movement. You got to move loads from point A to point B and make money. A part of what facilitates that is good credit. So go ahead and establish that credit for your business, and then start to bring on freight agents, because that's going to put you in a much better position. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. As always, if you want to learn more about the freight broker business, check out the description box. I'll leave a link for my 5-video series that walks you through the entire process. And also, if you're interested in learning about how we go out and get customers, how we find the shippers that we work with, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. I'll see you all the way at the top of the mountain, because the bottom is much too crowded.